The sunny streets of San Diego, the iconic Southern California city known for its immaculate weather and picturesque coastlines, are infamous for their heavy traffic and occasional police chases, the latter of which hit its zenith in May of 1995, when a dramatic and destructive incident unfolded in the suburbs of America's finest city. Shawn Nelson, former U.S. Army serviceman with a history of erratic behavior, stole a massive M60A3 tank from a National Guard armory. Nelson, a troubled individual grappling with financial hardship, unemployment, and substance abuse, embarked on a chaotic rampage through the city streets. The colossal tank, weighing over 57 tons, left a trail of damaged vehicles and infrastructure in its wake. Luckily, a ragtag team of news crews captured the exhilarating moments when the San Diego Police Department, along with the California Highway Patrol and National Guard, swooped in to chase down the tank.
The tank chase, as it's been called, that's probably one of the, if not the most dramatic events that have ever occurred that involve the San Diego Police Department.
Abel, what we need to do is have officers, to the best of their ability and their safety, keep these cars away from them. There's cars that are following them, and I have no idea why. We need to focus the way we're going to just like the tail I went behind me. Okay, 10-4. On Bean Street, 3700 Bean southbound.
Fortunately, we had an air crew up that was able to videotape and view this as it happened. It took about 20 minutes from after the helicopter got there.
This guy's in big trouble. Yeah, that's putting it mildly. He's doing these cars on purpose.
My name is Ed Surgott. I'm retired from the San Diego Police Department. I was an air support unit pilot, and I was the pilot that was flying the helicopter the day the tank was stolen. And when we arrived, we saw a tank running over anything it felt like running over in the street. And we discussed what to do, and we decided that the only thing we could do is broadcast where it was going so everybody could keep a safe distance from it. And we were equipped with a video camera, so we were taking video pictures of the carnage it was creating on the ground.
Abel, what we need to do is have officers, to the best of their ability and their safety, keep these cars away from them. There's cars that are following them.
A suspect who was under the influence of alcohol and had a drug abuse history stole a National Guard armory tank, a 70-ton tank.
Of course, the first thing investigators needed to know behind the scenes was who exactly they were dealing with. It turned out to be none other than Shawn Timothy Nelson, a 35-year-old native Californian and the middle child of 3 sons raised by Betty and Fred Nelson. A native of Claremont, San Diego, he attended James Madison High School before marrying a woman named Susie Hellman in less than a decade later. Nelson enlisted in the United States Army in 1978, undergoing training at Fort Knox before serving as a tank commander in Germany. However, disciplinary challenges resulted in an honorable discharge in 1980. Post-military, he established a successful plumbing business in San Diego in 1991. A series of legal encounters plagued Nelson's life. A patient at Sharp Memorial Hospital in 1990, he later pursued legal action against the facility following a dispute with security personnel. A subsequent malpractice lawsuit was filed in 1992, the same year his mother passed away at the hospital. Both cases were dismissed in 1993, leaving Nelson with a perceived sense of injustice. Known for eccentric behavior, Nelson became a local figure in Claremont. Unusual activities such as nighttime lawn mowing and excavating a 20-foot pit in his backyard drew attention. His property, cluttered with various items, frequently attracted law enforcement. Between 1994 and 1995, police responded to his residence 9 times, addressing incidents including domestic disputes and a stolen van. Substance abuse, primarily involving alcohol and methamphetamines, were critical to understanding Nelson's psyche. His wife left him in 1991 amid these struggles, followed by a significant setback in June 1994 when his van and plumbing tools were stolen, tanking his business operation. operations. By May 1995, Nelson faced a cascade of challenges, including unemployment, a spinal injury from a motorcycle accident, impending foreclosure on his home, utility service termination, eviction proceedings, and a recent romantic breakup. His deteriorating circumstances were further compounded by suicidal ideation. When you combine it all together, it's no wonder the streets of San Diego were unfolding into madness, violence, and pure chaos.
He was unarmed, but the suspect had prior military experience and knew how to drive the tank. When he stole it, he just began to drive down residential streets.
Get your loudspeaker on, please. This is the San Diego Police Department.
When my partner and I, my partner was Todd Jaeger that day, and when we arrived, we noticed a lot of people milling around, and they would come out to see what the noise and confusion was. We decided to use the loudspeaker, and Todd used the loudspeaker to warn people to go back into their homes or to get out of the way because this guy was running over everything in sight. And that was pretty effective. A lot of people heard what we were saying, and you could see them running out of the way and moving. Some people were curious. They'd come out and they'd hear us saying, go back in your homes, and then they'd look down the street and they'd see the tank coming and they'd go back in their homes.
He drove over fire hydrants, park benches, street lights. He attempted to drive over citizens in their vehicles, police cars. It was such an incredible hazard to people in the street. It's beyond words. He could have done a lot more damage if he wanted to. I don't know what he was using as a decision-making process on what his targets were going to be, but it was very arbitrary and absolutely the most hazardous thing that we have come across to date, because we just didn't know how to stop him.
San Diego Police Department, everybody go back in your house, get off the street. This is the San Diego Police Department. Everybody get off the street and go back into your house right now. Everybody go back into your house right now. Hey, what's the time? 10:20 now. Go Belford. That's Belford? There's people following us. If you could stay and keep people away, that'd be helpful. Okay, this is northbound Belford. Hey, but we're making PA announcements trying to get people to go back in the house and get out of the way. This is the San Diego Police Department. Everybody go back in your house and get off the street. This is the San Diego Police Department. Everybody get off the street, go back into your house. People out of this bridge. Yeah. Hope he doesn't go off the air. Okay, 210 has 2 units up front, lane interference. Abel, we're going over the top of 163 right now. Abel, can you call up from here? Abel, I'll do my best. I'm trying to get it on video for you, and I'm trying to call it out on the PA to people. He's coming up towards Arrow Drive right now, northbound Linda Vista, where it turns into Convoy. Call that. Police car, better move. He's heading for that police car. This is the San Diego Police Department. You're in danger. Get out of the street. 10-4. The units that are in front of the tank, stay in front as far as you can. That's the units in front of 210 Sam. Go ahead, 3610 Sam. Northbound on Convoy, 10-4. Okay, coming up on Othello now. Okay, once again, I have several units. Any unit was urgent. Any unit was urgent. 10-4. 2919 Laura.
The California Army National Guard facility and found off present-day Mesa College Drive. was secured by a substantial barbed wire topped fence standing 8 feet tall. Daily operations concluded by 6 in the evening, at which point the site was vacated by personnel. The M60A3 tank was a formidable piece of military equipment, measuring approximately 31 feet in length and weighing a substantial 57 tons when fully equipped. Capable of reaching speeds up to 45 miles per hour, it possessed an operational range of nearly 300 miles. Armed with a 7.62mm M73 machine gun, a 12.7mm M2 Browning heavy machine gun, and a powerful 105mm M68 tank gun, the entire assembly was a potent weapon system. However, it's important to note that the weapons stored at the San Diego Armory were not loaded, so even if Nelson wanted to go on a tank-driven shooting rampage, his artillery options were severely limited. Obviously, a tank of such size and mass doesn't need guns and bullets to inflict serious damage, and Nelson had the wherewithal to utilize what he did have at his disposal. On the evening of May 17th, the armory remained open due to extended staff hours. At 6:30 p.m., Nelson arrived in a Chevrolet van and entered the facility unimpeded. Appearing disheveled and shirtless, he forcibly gained access to 3 tanks before successfully starting an M60A3. Shortly after, at 6:45 p.m., he breached the armory's gate with the tank. Nelson proceeded to drive the tank through residential areas of San Diego, deliberately causing destruction. Eyewitness accounts indicated he intentionally avoided roadways and instead targeted infrastructure, maximizing damage while minimizing harm to civilians. During his 25-minute rampage, he demolished traffic signals, a bus shelter, and 40 vehicles, some reduced to mere remnants, as well as fire hydrants and utility poles, resulting in a power outage affecting approximately over 5,000 homes. Somehow, someway, no injuries were reported. It felt like a modern-day miracle. The San Diego Police Department was notified of the incident at 6:46 p.m. when a detective observed Nelson's actions. SDPD units were immediately dispatched to intercept the tank, necessitating the closure of California State Route 163. An SDPD captain remarked on Nelson's apparent proficiency in operating the tank, suggesting prior experience.
6-7 Sam, go. Paxton up closer to that tank in case this guy stops. He has the ability to control the tank. Okay, 10-4, and we have it? You got lines on our tank crew, but also, stand by just one. This is the San Diego Police Department. Get out of the way, get out of the street, you're in danger. This is the San Diego Police Department. Stay out of the street, get off the parking lots, you're in danger. They do not have the, excuse me, they do not have the ability. They do not, that's do not. Okay, we have somebody who can control it if we can get it stopped. I'm about 3-car lengths behind, 4 minutes. This is the San Diego Police Department. Get off the sidewalk, get off the street, you're in danger. This is the San Diego Police Department. Get off the street, you're in danger. Holy shit. More poles down. It's got about a 300-gallon tank, so how long that's going to last, we'll find out. Okay, 10-4. 647, are you on direct line to somebody needs to shoot this guy. I will be, though. This is the worst thing I've ever seen. 10-4, 647, why don't you take the DL and go to command 2? It looks like he's going to go westbound. Okay, we need to get it. I'm already doing it. I'm clear on Mesa. Okay, stand. That's already been done. We've got to put down. There's somebody up on Balboa to stop the traffic coming on the 05. Okay, 10-4, 622Z, I'm breaking in. 622Z. The gentleman does not know how much gas is on the tank. He says there are no coordinates on the vehicle.
People on the ground kept debating on how to stop this tank. None of us had the slightest idea what we were going to do.
Does he know this person by any chance? Negative. Abel, I look with the binoculars. The best I can tell, those hatches are closed. I don't see anything open. Hatches are closed. Stand, go ahead. Oh my God. You're going to try and take a bridge out. Okay, get a bridge out. Which bridge? Abel, it's a pedestrian bridge south of Balboa. There's nobody on it right now. The pedestrian bridge south of Balboa, BOL, he's possibly taking it out. Back up, For unit, stay away from that bridge if he takes it down. We're getting CHP. Thanks for ahead of him up here, taking all traffic out from the 805 and 163 exit. 3670 is on 10-4. 10-4, 22Z. The only thing is the only way to stop this vehicle while it's rolling is to dump a bunch of concertina wire in front of it. If, I don't know if our SWAT guys have that. Okay, we'll let it out. Somebody get on the tank and Okay, once you get there. Okay, somebody can go to the armory and get concertina wire. This is the San Diego Police Department. Get off the road. You're in danger. This is the San Diego Police Department. Get off the road and stay out. I copy. We'll get whatever we think. Let's go over the corner in front of it. Get on the corner, get off in front of whoever it is. We got 50 gallons of gas. All right. Let's keep approaching Mesa College. Okay, at 163 in Mesa College.
Upon entering SR 163, Nelson's tank struck a 3-foot-high barricade near Sharp Memorial Hospital. The force of the collision dislodged one of the tank's tracks. 4 SDPD officers boarded the tank and utilized bolt cutters to open the hatch, which was secured in a combat mode. Despite police presence, Nelson resisted arrest and attempted to dislodge the officers by maneuvering the tank. Lacking firearms capable of penetrating the tank's armor and uncertain of Nelson's armament, officers resorted to lethal force. Initial reports published 2 days after the event indicated Nelson was wounded in the right shoulder and survived the extraction from the tank. However, subsequent reporting by a tabloid magazine just 18 days later claimed Nelson died due to a fatal gunshot to the left shoulder. Sharp Memorial Hospital later confirmed Nelson succumbed to gunshot injuries, and the San Diego Coroner's Office detected alcohol on Nelson's corpse.
647. Any personnel that gets contacted me advises the hatch is probably open on the top. If we can get somebody on top of it, they can probably get inside the tank, and that's probably going to be our best hope at this juncture. Okay, Tim. Negative, they're in Paxton. Apparently he's got military experience. Is getting the concertina wire in the tank far. They have a hatch lock. They can empty a clip in there, and that's the end of him. That tank will stop. Oh my God. 20. Abel, he just high-centered it on the center divide, just north of Genesee. Abel, you were cut out.
When it made the turn to go across the freeway, the only thing I could think to say, I didn't recall at the time, but when we played the tape back, I said, oh my God, because had he crossed into the opposing traffic, it was rush hour traffic, and we would have had a catastrophe. Somehow, he got hung up on the center island. The tank got stuck, and it became immediately apparent that this guy knew what he was doing, and he started backing the tank back and forth. The officers on the ground, two or three of them, I don't recall, got the Medal of Valor, and it's the bravest thing I've ever seen happen. They climbed on top of the tank with the tread still turning.
And for Abel, you go ahead and call it. Once again, Abel will call it.
One of them, by a miracle, had been in the Marine Corps Reserves, knew how to open the hatch on that tank.
Jerking this thing side to side, you might be able to break that pavement loose and roll again. Right now, the officers still haven't been able to get the hatch open. For units on it, be careful if he gets loose there. Next unit. Go ahead, 626. 97 at the armory. M4. The track came off. The right track, the track came off the tank.
They opened the hatch. They ordered the driver to stop what he was doing.
It's definitely not going anywhere now. He's just north of Genesee in the center divide.
And they could recognize that he knew exactly what he was doing, and that if he got the tank off the center divider, it would have been a major catastrophe.
In the tank.
And and when they realized he was going to get loose, they had to shoot him.
Nelson's acquaintances criticized the police for using deadly force, advocating for non-lethal alternatives like tear gas, or at least an attempt by crisis negotiators. However, the San Diego Police Captain Tom Hall justified the officers' actions, emphasizing the imperative to halt the suspect's destructive behavior. California National Guard was held accountable for negligence in the incident. The state incurred a total of $150,000 in damages. These funds were distributed to Pacific Bell, the city of San Diego Gas and Electric, and individual citizens, primarily for their personal vehicle repairs. Subsequent years witnessed a multitude of interpretations surrounding Nelson's motivations. Some viewed his actions as a reflection of middle-class challenges, others as a critique of societal pressures on masculinity, and still others as a cautionary tale about the potential consequences of disillusioned veterans. Immediately following the incident, the National Guard devised a plan to deploy additional tanks to SR-163 to assist in the removal of the disabled tank. The Guard also acknowledged a lapse in security protocols, admitting that vehicles entering the armory were not inspected despite heightened alert levels following the Oklahoma City bombing less than a month earlier. Major Ed Gale explained that Nelson forced entry into the tank using an external lock. In response to the incident, batteries were removed from 28 additional National Guard tanks in Southern California, and San Diego Mayor Susan Golding formally requested a comprehensive security review of the armory. By November 1996, the Guard had implemented fortified security measures across its armories and relocated all tanks to one of Fort Irwin or Camp Roberts. Between the San Diego tank Rampage in May and the legendary O.J. Simpson Ford Bronco police chase in October 1995 is the singular year for infamous vehicle pursuits in Southern California. It's hard to imagine such madness will ever occur in such close proximity and time to one another ever again.